Coming to the next topic is the plasma membrane. Within that plasma membrane, there is proteins are there, lipids are there, carbohydrates are there, right? We already discussed about the plasma membrane because we discussed about the prokaryotic cell. That time we discussed about the plasma membrane structure, right? So plasma membrane majorly maintains the semi-permeability of the cell. Semi-permeability of the cell. Cell wall is dead and it's permeable. See, plasma membrane is considered as living because selective molecules are transported from outside the cell to the inside the cell, or inside the cell to the outside the cell. So the plasma membrane first identified by the Swan is the scientist. Okay, Swan first identified the plasma membrane structure. Later, Plow is the scientist. The first name of the plasma membrane is plasma lemma. The first name of plasma membrane is the plasma lemma. See, the plasma membrane is also called cell membrane. The plasma membrane is also called cell membrane. So Carl Nageli is the scientist. He coined the term cell membrane. Cell membrane, the term coined by the Carl Nageli, right? So the plasma membrane or cell membrane, which is majorly involved in the semi-permeability of the cell, right? And the best studied plasma membrane is the RBC membrane. The best studied plasma membrane or cell membrane is the RBC membrane. Why? The RBC or the RBC membrane, RBC cell membrane or RBC plasma membrane is the best studied membrane, because animal cells are not having cell walls. Directly the plasma membrane is available. And see, if we collect the blood, and within the blood the RBC cells are easily separated. Once the RBC cells are easily separated, then we can easily isolate the plasma membrane structure. We can easily isolate the plasma membrane structure. That's the reason why the most investigated or the best studied membrane is the RBC plasma membrane. RBC plasma membrane. Within that there is a composition is there, right? See, I already said that any plasma membrane we have taken, majority of the cases proteins are rich percentage. Okay, next one is lipids are there. The protein percentage here 52% is there. Lipids are there. According to the NCERT 40% is given, but there is a range is there. The lipids are 40 to 42% are there. 40 to 42% lipids are there, and certain portion of the carbohydrates are there. We'll discuss what is the use of carbohydrates, right? So carbohydrates percentage is the 2 to 5%, and minerals are there. Minerals, some of the minerals also supporting for the stability of the plasma membrane. Stability of the plasma membrane. So what I am telling here, whatever that proteins, proteins are there 52%, lipids are there 40 to 42%, carbohydrates are 2 to 5%, minerals are the remaining percentage is the minerals. So what I am telling here, not only these compounds, the plasma membrane stability is also depends on cholesterol. Plasma membrane stability is also depends on cholesterol. The plasma membrane also contains the cholesterol molecules. The cholesterol molecules are majorly act like an buffer-like substances. Buffer-like substances, which are majorly supporting for the stabilization of the plasma membrane structure. The cholesterol molecules which are present in the plasma membrane, which are supporting for the stabilization of the plasma membrane, right? So that is about the plasma membrane composition. And coming to that, within that plasma membrane, there is a rich percentage of the proteins are there within that proteins. Again here, based on the functions, the proteins can be classified into three types. Based on the proteins function, these can be classified into three types. Some are called as structural proteins. Within the plasma membrane, some of the proteins are majorly involved in the maintenance of the structure, maintenance of the plasma membrane structure. So these are called as structural proteins. Due to these proteins, the plasma membrane structure is maintained. The plasma membrane structure is maintained. And some of the proteins are there which are functional proteins. See, the functional proteins which are majorly involved in the transportation. The functional proteins are majorly involved in the transportation. We already discussed that there is an symport mechanism is there. Means the very first one is the uniport mechanism is there, symport mechanism is there, right? There is an antiport mechanism is there, active transport mechanism is there. All these transports majorly done by the proteins. those the proteins which are present in the plasma membrane, which are involved in the transportation of molecules from outside the cell to inside the cell, or inside the cell to outside the cell, right? These are called as transport proteins. Transport proteins are included in the functional proteins. Transport proteins are included in the functional proteins. And the last one, the last type of proteins are dynamic proteins. See the dynamic proteins, some of the dynamic proteins are enzymes. The dynamic proteins, some of the dynamic proteins are act like an enzymes. Some of the plasma membranes, the membranes contains membrane bounded enzymes. Membrane bounded enzymes. So these are called as, these are included in the dynamic proteins. And coming to the next one, there is in receptors are there. There is in receptors are there. Receptors, receptors are there. The receptors also included in the dynamic proteins. For suppose insulin receptor. Insulin molecules are released into the bloodstream which are binds to the receptor. These are called as insulin receptor. Once the insulin binds to insulin receptor, the glucose transporters are opens, then glucose molecules are transported from blood vessel to inside the cell. So that is about the some receptors. So enzymes and receptors which are included in the dynamic proteins. Mostly here dynamic proteins are enzymes. Majority of the cases the dynamic proteins are enzymes, right? That is about the classification of proteins based on the function. And coming to the next one, based on the position. We already discussed within that plasma membrane there is two types of the proteins are there. Integrated proteins are there, peripheral proteins are there. For suppose this is the plasma membrane, this is the biphospholipid layer. At some reason some of the proteins which are integrated into the lipid layers, See, these are called as integrated proteins. These proteins are called as integrated proteins. And some of the proteins which are presented the outside. These proteins are called as peripheral proteins. So integrated proteins which are involved in the transportation of molecules. And peripheral proteins, the peripheral proteins are which are act like enzymes, maybe act like receptors, right? So that is about that plasma membrane. And initial discussion about the plasma membrane. Then we discussed about how the lipid molecules are arranged and what is the composition of biphospholipid. We'll discuss, right? Coming to the next topic within that plasma membrane, that is the lipids are there. See, the lipids are phospholipids. How the lipids are arranged, what is the composition of phospholipids, we will discuss here. We already discussed, this is one of the phospholipids within the plasma membrane. See, these are the phospholipids. So, two layers are the biphospholipid layer. So, this one is called as biphospholipid layer. So, in this case, this is one of the phospholipid. That phospholipids, there is a head moiety is there and there is a tail moiety is there. The head moiety especially made with the phosphate. So the head moiety phosphate is present. The phosphate is the hydrophilic substance, means which attracts the water molecules. So these substances are hydrophilic molecules. So this is about that head moiety. And coming to that tail moiety is there. There is a tail moiety. The tail moiety, there is a fatty acid molecules are there. That tail moiety contains the fatty acids. These fatty acids are hydrophobic in nature. So one is attacks the water molecule, other one hates the water molecule. So any component, any single component having the two natures, these are called as amphipathic molecules. So what is the composition of the phospholipid? All we know, within the phospholipid there is a glycerol is present. This is the glycerol. Glycerol is the backbone. This is the glycerol structure. Glycerol is the backbone, right? And there is a phosphate structure is there. This is one of the phosphate structure, right? And there is in fatty acids are there. These two are fatty acids. So there is a phosphate head moiety and there is in fatty acid tail moieties are there. So what I am telling here, CH2OH and CHOH and here CH2OH. This is the structure of glycerol. The glycerol which is bind with one of the phosphate molecule, right? And remaining these two carbon atoms are attached with the fatty acids. So this is the one fatty acid and this is another fatty acid. So here there is a phosphate is there. So here phosphate, glycerol and lipids. These are nothing but fatty acids. So these are called as phospholipids. These are called as phospholipids. So within plasma membrane, so there is a glycerol is the backbone and phosphate moiety. This part is called as head part, and remaining two carbon atoms are attached with the fatty acids, and these are not dissolved in water. That's the reason why these are hydrophobic substances. It attracts the water, hydrophilic, and these two are hates the water. Fats are insoluble in water, right? So here this is the tail moiety. So it's having the hydrophobic nature. A single component having both the natures. That kind of molecules are called as amphipathic molecules. That kind of molecules are called as amphipathic molecules. That is the basic composition of the plasma membrane. Proteins we are seeing, and we discussed about the lipids. And in the next topic we'll discuss about different theories of the arrangement of proteins and arrangement of lipids within the plasma membrane, and we'll discuss about different theories explains in different ways. We'll discuss about the next one, different plasma membrane theories. Plasma membrane theories, right? Coming to the next topic is the cell membrane models. In history, different theories explains regarding to the cell membrane structure or the plasma membrane structure. Within the plasma membrane structure, all these theories try to explain regarding to the arrangement of proteins and lipids. How the proteins, how the lipids are arranged within the plasma membrane, right? At the same time, the main theme of these theories or these models, try to explain regarding to the semi-permeability of the plasma membrane. Semi-permeability of the plasma membrane. So before invention of electron microscope, there are different theories are there, right? Most of these theories are failed. And after invention of electron microscope, see, especially if we have electron microscope, then we can find the exact structure of the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, because high resolution for that is electron microscope, right? So if we use the electron microscope, we can find the exact structure of the cell membrane. So here the cell membrane different models are there in history, right? The very first model is the trilamellar model. Trilamellar model, that is first identified by, means first explained by, proposed by Daniel Lee and Davison. The scientist names are Daniel Lee and Davison. Daniel Lee, Davison, scientists. Both the scientists are proposes one of the theory that is called as trilamellar model. Tri indicates here 3. Tri indicates here 3. See, one is that protein part, other one is the protein part. Between these two, there is a lipid parts are there. So that's the reason why this is trilamellar, 3 layers like structures. 3 layer trilamellar, right? And this is also called sandwich model. Why this is called sandwich model? Most of the students, most of the times we ate that sandwich, and within that sandwich there is an upper layer is there, lower layer is there, middle of these 2 layers there is a curry content is there. So here this structure is also resembles like sandwich. That's the reason why this model is called as sandwich model. This model is called as sandwich model, right? So within that sandwich model, there is a globular proteins are there, and there is a lipid layer, and another lipid layer is there. These are nothing but biphospholipid layer, and other side there is a globular proteins are there. Always outside globular proteins are there. Always outside globular proteins are there. Always inside lipid layers are there. Always inside lipid layers are there. And this is one of the failure model. This is one of the failure model. Why this model is a failure model? Because this model unable to explains regarding to the semi-permeability of the plasma membrane. Semi-permeability of the plasma membrane. Suppose this is one of the hydrophilic substance. This is one of the hydrophilic substance. The hydrophilic substance easily crosses the protein layer. Easily crosses the protein layer. But the hydrophilic substance unable to cross the lipid layer. Unable to cross the lipid layer. So this model unable to explain regarding to the hydrophilic substance transports. And next one, hydrophobic substance. Hydrophobic substance. So hydrophobic substance is there. Hydrophobic substance unable to cross the protein layer. hydrophilic substance unable to cross the protein layer. Once it crosses the protein layer, okay, once if in case if it crosses the protein layer, there is a chance to cross the lipid layer because lipids are easily transported through the lipids. Hydrophilic substances are easily transported through the proteins, right? So what I am telling here, hydrophobic substances are unable to cross the protein layer. So here this theory unable to explain about the hydrophilic substances. So this theory unable to explain regarding to the hydrophilic and hydrophobic substances. That's the reason why this model unable to explain about semi-permeability of the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Semi-permeability of the cell membrane or plasma membrane, right? That is about the trilamellar model, and this is one of the this was one of the failure model, right? And coming to the next one, unit membrane model. See, the name indicates always membrane having a particular thickness. According to this model, every living organism contains the plasma membrane having a particular thickness. That's the reason why this is called as unit membrane model. According to this theory, every species contains the plasma membrane thickness is 75 angstroms. Every living organism contains the plasma membrane thickness is 75 angstroms. So this model is also called Robertson model. This model is also called Robertson model because the Robertson model or unit membrane model proposed by the Robertson in 1957. The year is 1957, right? According to this model, there is in proteins are there, arrangement is same, right? Proteins are outside and there is in biphospholipid are there, and the other outside is there is in protein layer is there. But here always every layer having particular measurement. Remember here globular proteins, but here these are not globular proteins. These are beta plated sheets. Okay, the proteins are formed sheet-like structures. Within this model, the proteins are formed sheet-like structures. These are called beta plated sheets. Here proteins are formed globules, round-like structures. So here proteins, beta plated sheets are formed. The thickness is 20 angstroms. Again inside there is an lipids are formed. Lipids are present. Biphospholipid are there. The thickness is here 35 angstroms. Another outside there is an 20 angstroms are there. The 20 angstroms again beta plated sheet proteins are there. So this is one of the unit membrane model. Within unit membrane model, 20 angstroms of protein layer and 35 angstroms of biphospholipid layer and 20 angstroms of beta plated sheet protein layers are there. So according to this model, every living organism contains the plasma membrane thickness is 75 angstroms. So this is not possible. This is not possible. Every species having that cell membrane thickness is different. Human plasma membrane thickness is different with plant cell plasma membrane and fungi plasma membrane. So all species, all living organisms contains the plasma membrane is not same. Always different here, right? And this theory also unable to explain regarding to the semi-permeability of the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Here through this one, hydrophilic substances are passed. Again this part unable to explain, okay, this part unable to transport the hydrophilic substances. So this membrane, through this membrane, hydrophilic substances are not transport, right? Hydrophobic substances are not crossed this part. Hydrophobic substances are not crossed this part. So what I am telling here, this model also failure model. This model also failures explains regarding to the semi-permeability of the plasma membrane, right? So that is about the unit membrane model, right? And this is also called Robertson model. Coming to the last model, this is called as fluid and mosaic model. See, this is the well-known model and most accepted model. Most accepted model. According to this model, there is an phospholipids are there. These are the phospholipids, right? And within phospholipids, within lipid layers, some of the proteins are integrated. These proteins are called as integrated proteins. Again, phospholipids are there. These are the phospholipids, right? These are the phospholipids, right? And some of the proteins are presented outside. Some of the proteins are presented outside, right? So within the fluid and mosaic model, there is a biphospholipid layers are there, and some of the proteins which are integrated into the lipids layers. These proteins are called as integrated proteins, and some of the proteins are presented outside. These proteins are called as peripheral proteins, and always the protein moieties which are tagged with carbohydrate moieties. The protein moieties which are tagged with the carbohydrate moieties, right, like this. These are the carbohydrate moieties. Always the proteins are tagged with carbohydrate moieties. So what is the use of these carbohydrates? What is the use of these carbohydrates? These carbohydrates are act like an receptors. These carbohydrates are act like an receptors, means whatever that molecules are binds to this particular structure, that time these are activated. Once this one is activated, the protein is activated, then the protein involved in the transportation of molecules. So what I am telling here, there is a fluid and mosaic model is there. This theory proposed by Singer and Nicholson. The year is 1972. According to this model, within the plasma membrane, there is in 2 layers of phospholipids are there, and 2 types of proteins are there. Some of the proteins are integrated proteins, right, and some of the proteins are peripheral proteins, and some carbohydrate moieties are attached to the proteins, right. These are act like an receptors, and this theory completely explains regarding to the semi-permeability of the plasma membrane. Semi-permeability of the plasma membrane, because through the lipids, we already discussed, through the lipids, hydrophilic substances are transported. Through the proteins, the hydrophilic substances are transported. Through the lipids, hydrophobic substances are transported. Means lipids are transported through the lipids. Hydrophobic substances are transported. Hydrophobic substances are transported through the lipids, and through the proteins, hydrophilic substances are transported. Through the proteins, hydrophilic substances are transported, and some of the minerals are there, right, and the cholesterol molecules are there. All these are supporting for the stabilization of plasma membrane structure. And see the best explanation regarding to that fluid and mosaic model. If we have taken cool water, or one of the ocean is there, the ocean contains water, and sometimes within the ocean icebergs are formed. Some of the icebergs are freely float on the surface of the water. Some of the icebergs which are float on the surface of the water. So what I am telling here, the water is like an lipids. Icebergs are proteins. Some of the icebergs are penetrated into the deep sea, right? So which are just, these are imagine like an integrated proteins, and some of the proteins means some of the icebergs which are float on the surface of the water. So this is just resemblance between that ocean water or sea water and icebergs. Sea water and the icebergs, or ocean water and the icebergs. So just we can do experiment also. Just take 1 glass of water, right, and we have the ice cubes. If we add that ice cubes, certain parts of the ice cubes, okay, within the water penetrated, right. Some portion is float on the surface of the water. Certain part of the iceberg or ice cube float on the surface of the water. So this is the best model. It explains regarding to that semi-permeability of the plasma membrane. It explains that hydrophilic molecules transportation and hydrophobic molecules transportation, right? And this is proposed by the Singer and Nicholson, right? So this is about the different theories, and in all these models, the most accepted model is the fluid and mosaic model. The year is 1972, right? Coming to the next one, functions of the plasma membrane within this case. See, we have to discuss about all the functions of the plasma membrane. Already we know about the plasma membrane function, because it maintains the semi-permeability of the cell. In that case, the very first one, diffusion process. What is diffusion? Diffusion is indicates here transportation of molecules from high concentration region to the low concentration region. So what I am telling here, for suppose here there is a lipid molecules are there. Lipids are, see, transportation of the lipids are not requires any special carrier proteins for the transportation. So here lipids are there. Lipids are transporting from one side of the plasma membrane to the another side of the plasma membrane. So here molecules are transported from high concentration region to low concentration region. So what I am telling here, for suppose we are spraying body sprays are there. So that one is also the same principle, diffusion, right? So molecules are transporting from high concentration region to the low concentration region. So perfumes are there, body sprays are there, for suppose neighbors sometimes, mostly Sundays, neighbors, if they are cooking biryani, okay, we are getting the smell. That is also nothing but diffusion. So what I am telling here, see, the molecules are transported from high concentration region to low concentration region. So this is the principle. Here there is no need of any carriers for the transportation of molecules. There is no need of any carriers. All we know, the gas exchange majorly done by a gas exchange process. Gas exchange majorly done by the diffusion process. For suppose this is outside the cell, this is inside the cell. Here high concentration of oxygen molecules are there. Oxygen molecules are transported from outside to inside. Outside to inside. And inside the cell there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide is present. High concentration of carbon dioxide is present. That carbon dioxide transporting from inside the cell to the outside the cell. Inside the cell to the outside the cell. So plasma membrane involved in the diffusion process for the transportation of different types of molecules. The molecules, okay, which transportation not requires any special carrier proteins or transport proteins. So here gas exchange, one of the best example, we know the diffusion process. And the lipids, okay, after eating the food is digested, the food contains that oil substances. That oil substances are transported from, absorbed by the diffusion process. The lipids are absorbed by the diffusion process, right? So that is about the diffusion. And coming to the next one is the facilitated diffusion. So here there is a facility is required. Here facility means here molecules are only transported through the specific carrier proteins. Here molecules are transported through the specific carrier proteins. So this is the one of the protein. Selective proteins are required, sir. Specific proteins are required. Specific protein molecules are involved in the transportation. Of molecules. So here we can discuss like this. Hydrophilic substances requires the specific carrier proteins. That carrier proteins are involved in the transportation of molecules from high concentration region to the low concentration region. This is the high concentration region. This is the low concentration region. So here water molecules, maybe the water, but here not water. Here molecules are transported. Molecules are transported from high concentration region to the low concentration region. High concentration region to low concentration region. So that is called as the diffusion process. And coming to the next one, active transport mechanism. See, the active transport is the quite different one. Here molecules are transported from low concentration region to high concentration region. In all the cases, high concentration to low concentration. But in active transport, specific carrier proteins are there which utilizes the energy in the form of ATP. The ATP is converted into ADP plus PI. Presence of that energy utilization, molecules are transported from low concentration region to the high concentration region. So this is called as active transport, right? Coming to the last one, osmosis process. Osmosis process, or what is osmosis? Remember, in osmosis process, always solvent molecules are transported. In osmosis process or during osmosis, always the water molecules or solvent molecules are transported. For suppose this is one of the semi-permeable membrane. See, this is one of the semi-permeable membrane. Through the semi-permeable membrane, see, the water molecules or solvent molecules are transported. So during osmosis process, water molecules are transported from high concentration region to low concentration region. This is one of the high concentration region. This is one of the low concentration region. So here water molecules are crosses the plasma membrane, So molecules are transported from high concentration region to the low concentration region, right? So this process is called as osmosis. Again osmosis, here two types of the osmosis is there. One is exoosmosis process, other one is the endoosmosis process. What is exoosmosis process? Well, suppose this is the cell and this is the nucleus. Inside the cytoplasm, the cell contains high concentration of water molecules. So through the semi-permeable membrane, here outside the cell, there is a low concentration of water is present. Outside the cell, there is a low concentration of water molecules are there. So here, water molecules are transporting from high concentration region to low concentration region through the semi-permeable membrane. So the solvent molecules are transported from high concentration region to low concentration region. So this is called as exoosmosis process. Exo means outside. The molecules are transporting from inside to outside. So this is called as exoosmosis process. Remember, here high concentration indicates low solute concentration. High concentration indicates low solute concentration. Here low concentration indicates high solute concentration. Low water molecules or low concentration of water molecules indicates here high solute concentration. So here the water molecules are transported from low solute concentration to high solute concentration. So here water molecules are transported from low solute concentration to the high solute concentration. So in any case, in all the cases, the water molecules are transported from high water concentration to low water concentration, or low solute concentration to high solute concentration, right? That is about osmosis. So in exoosmosis case, the water molecules are transported from inside to outside. So inside high water content, outside low water content. So the water molecules are transported from inside the cell to the outside the cell. And endoosmosis. In the case of the endoosmosis, this is one of the cell, right? And this is the cell and this is the nucleus. Here outside high concentration of water is present and inside low concentration of water is present. So the water molecules are transported from outside to inside. The water molecules are transported from outside to inside. See, the water high concentration at outside. Inside low concentration. So the molecules are transported from outside to inside. So this is endoosmosis. Endo indicates here inside. Exo indicates here outside. Here molecules are transported from inside to outside. Here outside to inside. So here this is the low solute concentration. This is the high solute concentration. So water molecules are transported from low solute concentration to high solute concentration. Low solute concentration to high solute concentration. So this is the endoosmosis process. So in osmosis case, the water molecules are transported from water high concentration region to water low concentration region through the semi-permeable membrane. The process is called as osmosis, right? So these are some of the other functions of the plasma membrane. The very first one is the phagocytosis process. All we know what is phagocytosis process. One of the best example, amoeba is there. Amoeba intake of the food material, right? Other one is what white blood cells are there. Within human body, there is in white blood cells are there, right? One of the white blood cell. And the phagocytosis process, white blood cells done the phagocytosis process, especially either in amoeba, either in white blood cells, the plasma membrane is very important. See, these are animal cells, the cell wall is absent here. For suppose one of the amoeba, this is one of the amoeba structure is there, right? And here there is a nucleus is present, and this is the plasma membrane structure. And just imagine this is maybe the white blood cell or the amoeba. So this is one of the food material for the amoeba. This is one of the food material for the amoeba. See, whatever that plasma membrane generates that some of the changes in the that amoeba changes the plasma membrane structure, and finally these are generates the pseudopodias, changes in the plasma membrane structure. Okay, that one is called as pseudopodias. That pseudopodias are supporting for the intake of the food material, once the food material taken into inside, here the food material destruction takes place. So once the food material destruction takes place, during the destruction process, certain amount of energy is liberated. By the utilization of that energy, the amoeba cells are survived. The same case in the white blood cells, in the same manner, in white blood cells, just imagine this is not the bacteria cell. The bacteria cells takes the intake of the bacteria cells by the pseudopodias. Once the bacteria cells are taken into inside, and destruction of bacteria cells. So this is also one of that phagocytosis process. So what I am telling here, the phagocytosis, two types of the phagocytosis process there. One is oxygen dependent phagocytosis process. Other one is oxygen independent phagocytosis process. What is the difference between oxygen dependent and oxygen independent? See, the destruction process is only different. Right? So what I am telling here, this is the bacteria cell, that bacteria cell. See, suppose in oxygen dependent phagocytosis process, one of the oxygen is there, that oxygen produces the oxygen free radicals. That oxygen free radicals are involved in the destruction of bacteria. Once the free radicals are formed, these free radicals are directly involved in the destruction of bacterial cell wall, destruction of bacteriogenetic material. Finally, the bacteria converted into, or finally the bacteria break down into very small products. So this is the phagocytosis process, that is oxygen dependent phagocytosis process. But in the case of oxygen independent, see, there is a lysosome is there. This is one of the lysosome and this is one of the bacteria. Once the bacteria enter into inside, the lysosome covers the bacteria. Once the lysosome covers the bacteria, this is the bacteria. Once the lysosome covers the bacteria, the lysosome contains different types of enzymes. See, especially within lysosome, there is an acid hydrolase enzymes are present. All these enzymes are act on bacteria, destructs the bacteria. So finally, the bacteria converted into very small products, are degraded into very small products. So this process is called as oxygen independent phagocytosis process. If oxygen is involved, oxygen dependent. If oxygen is not involved, oxygen independent phagocytosis process. So that is the difference between oxygen dependent and oxygen independent phagocytosis process. And coming to the next one is phagocytosis process. Phagocytosis is nothing but endoosmosis. See, one of the cell drinking process. The cell drinking process is called as phagocytosis. So this is nothing but endoosmosis. If any cell takes the water molecules from outside to inside, right, that process is called as cell drinking process. Cell drinking process is nothing but phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is nothing but endoosmosis, right? So that is about the phagocytosis. And coming to the exocytosis and endocytosis. These are also like osmosis. Exoosmosis, transportation of water molecules from inside to outside. Exocytosis indicates here transportation of molecules, not water here, maybe the minerals or maybe the other substances. So molecules are transporting from inside the cell to the outside the cell. So that is called as exocytosis. And coming to the endocytosis, here endocytosis indicates here molecules are transporting from outside to inside. So that one is called as endocytosis. So these are the different types of functions of plasma membrane, right? So that is about the functions of the plasma membrane.